What is going on, guys and girls? Welcome back to TV and Me. I'm of course Kevin, and it's time for the Walking Dead weekend. So let's dive straight into this recap. Let's not hang about. So last episode was one all about hope, really. An episode where, despite that hope, Rick was sort of wary of it. He was very conscientious about it. He wanted to be sure that this Aaron character was who he said he was, and he wasn't trying to lure Rick's group into a trap. Now, he took precautions, he did things differently to what Aaron wanted him to do. For instance, Aaron wanted him to drive the car down a certain road, but Rick decided to drive the car and take him down an entirely different route, which ultimately ran them into trouble and into a horde of walkers. Saying that though, throughout that episode there were a few moments where I started to question Aaron as well. I mean, I said in a review, but he had a good sales pitch. He really did. He had the photos. He seemed caring, although at times he seemed a little too caring, which made me a bit suspicious. And also there were the moments where, for instance, where he wouldn't eat the applesauce, which for a moment made me think, well, why won't you eat the applesauce? If somebody was threatening your life and they said try the applesauce to make sure it wasn't poisoned, you do it straight away. But then he said, oh no, I can't eat it because I don't like it, which made me suspicious. But again, he then ate it, which proved it wasn't poisoned. And then there was the whole debacle about Rick not believing he arrived in two vehicles with someone else, with one other person, which we later found out to be true. We found the vehicles, we found his boyfriend, who I believe it is, I believe his name is Eric. I believe those two were just the only two out in the wilderness. But whether or not he's told the truth about Alexandria, we are yet to find out, because last episode ended with them at the gates. We heard children playing in the background, but as a few of my patrons pointed out, more precisely Sean, who said that maybe they're playing sounds of kids to lure them into the camp, you know, which is a possibility. But I hold out hope. I said it in the last review as well. I'm about 50% there concerning Alexandria and it being safe. Whether or not they can settle there, you know, I doubt it, because, you know, I stated the reasons in the previous review as well about these places always fall. There's always some history to them, some bad history as to why they have survived and how they've thrived. So I guess we're going to find out all that juicy stuff, whether it's good or bad for Rick and his group. I'm guessing bad. Somebody's bound to get hurt in this whole thing like they always do, but let's just get into it. Let's have hope for now. Let's hope they have some respite, at least for a while. So this is Season 5, Episode 12. Let's do it. I guess this is where we find out whether we're about to get some more human sausages, or...
We brought dinner.
It's okay. Come on in, guys.
Before we take this any further, I need you all to turn over your weapons.
Oh,
stay.
shit.
You hand them over.
We don't know if we want to stay.
It's fine, Nicholas.
If we were going to use them, we would have started already.
Hello. I'm Deanna Monroe.
Rick Grimes.
You mind if I film this?
What?
Do you mind if I film our talk?
Go ahead.
I was a congressperson. Ohio. 15th District. You?
I don't think it matters anymore.
Oh, I know it does.
How'd you end up here?
Well, my family and I were trying to get back to Ohio, so I could help my district manage the crisis, and the Army stopped us on a back road and directed us here.
You've been behind these walls this entire time.
We need people who have lived out there. Your group is the first we've even considered taking in for a long time.
You should keep your gates closed. Because it's all about survival now. At any cost. People out there are always looking for an angle. Looking to play on your weakness. They measure you by what they can take from you.
Aaron says I can trust you.
Aaron doesn't know me. I've killed people. I don't even know how many by now. But I know why they're all dead. They're dead dead so my family, all those people out there, can be alive.
These families should be able to raise their children in a safe environment. Your son, your daughter.
Carl's
have a
too far
place
gone.
to grow up.
Judith could raise normal, but
Oh, I want.
Carl, there's no chance.
But inside here, we store them for safety.
I'm still not comfortable with this. They should allow Rick to keep his gun. Considering he was the sheriff and he's the leader, just for their safety, so they can give him peace of mind. I've been camping. I know after a few days how nice that is. Imagine you've been on the road as long as them, and that's your first shower in God knows how long. Oh, is it time to lose the crazy beard? As I think it was Laura, one of my patrons as well, called it. The beard's going. Oh my god, he looks so weird.
Becky, we were just cleaning up.
I can see that. You still have some shaving cream on your chin.
God,
I'm
he looks
Jessica.
like 10 years younger.
Rick,
God, he looks so much younger.
You know, I used to be a stylist and 12 other things. I could give you a cut if you want. Ron's my oldest boy. He's about your son's age. I could introduce them if that's okay with you, and
it's just me.
I'm sorry.
Electricity, showers, haircuts. I never thought I'd see those again.
Come on. Haircuts were never going away.
Daryl's still eating this roadkill. It's gonna take time, man. But I know it's too good to be true. I know it won't last. I just know it won't.
They're right next to each other, but
They took our weapons and now they're splitting us up.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll all be staying in the same house tonight.
I see they didn't take Daryl's crossbow away though.
How long was I in there for?
Or measuring sword.
20 minutes.
I could not stop rushing. I've never seen your face like that.
That's what I felt before and after.
I get why we're playing it safe. We should. I have a good feeling about this place.
I hope you're right.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
That was supposed to be me free. It can't be this straightforward. It can't be. Because the season or the series Walking Dead would just end here, like season 5. Something terrible is going to happen, or there's going to be something nefarious behind this whole place. Oh. Keeping a knife on him. Again, I do not blame him.
How was Ron's house?
What do you think of this place?
Well, I think it seems nice.
Yeah. I like it here. I like the people. But they're weak. And I don't want us to get weak too.
You're Rick.
Yeah.
My wife cut your hair.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Welcome to Alexandria.
Well, he's going to be a problem. The jealous husband.
I did laundry, gardened, always had dinner on the table for Ed when he came home. I miss that stupid, wonderful man every day. I really didn't have much to offer this group, so I think I just sort of became their den mother, and they've been nice enough to protect me.
Where do you think you'll fit in?
Well, I'd like to be involved in the community. Do you have anything like a junior league? I'm a real people person.
Is that like a front Carol's putting on? That isn't Carol. The fuck?
Punch the clock and make the casseroles.
What?
We make dinner for the older people. Moms who need a break, people who can't cook.
That's exactly my face that Daryl's pulling.
Alright.
Have you taken a shower yet? Take a shower. I'm gonna wash that vest. We need to keep up appearances, even you.
Hey, why are you starting now?
I'm gonna hose you down in your sleep.
You look ridiculous.
We need to make this work.
Why?
We were almost out there too long.
Look, we got a way of doing things around here.
You tied up walkers.
It killed our friend! Look, I'm not having this conversation. You obey my orders out there.
Oh, then we're just as screwed as your last run crew.
Say that again.
Yo, back off, Aiden.
Come on, man, just take a step back.
Come on, tough guy. Why'd you let these people in?
Because we actually know what we're doing out there.
That's enough!
Get fucked, bitches. You're messing with the wrong fucking crew.
Now do this now.
I want everyone to hear me, okay? Rick and his people are part of this community now, in all ways, as equals.
I told you I had a job for you. I'd like you to be our constable. And you too.
If only he still had his badge.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in.
People out there are always looking for an angle, looking to play on your weakness.
Oh
They
shit.
measure you by what they can take from you, by how they can use you to live. I think we can start sleeping in our own homes. Settle in.
If we get comfortable here, we let our guard down. This place is gonna make us weak.
We'll make it work. And if they can't make it, then we'll just take this place.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. If they can't make it, maybe we'll just take this place. Holy shit. Rick. Holy shit. This group, I understand why Rick is cautious. I understand why they're suspicious of everyone, and they should be. They should be cautious. They shouldn't just fall into line straight away. They shouldn't fall into these jobs straight away. They should stick together, be careful, and stay strong. But that line, maybe we'll just take this place, is turning Rick's group, and I mentioned it in the last review, how Rick and his group could possibly become the aggressors in this world. And if Rick and the entire group, the entire family, do take this Alexandra over, you know, violently, with force, even if they don't kill anyone, if they take it over with force, then they are the external threat coming in and wreaking havoc. They are the people that we hated in the previous seasons. They are the Governor's Group. Okay, I might have gone overboard with the Governor's Group reference, but I think you get the picture. Just think, if we'd been following the group of Alexandria this whole time, their story, and then we see Rick and his group coming, they seem like good people, you know, they're sort of fitting into their roles in society, then all of a sudden, you know, they don't start not agreeing with the way you run things, and then they aggressively take over your town, you know, and they start taking charge and running stuff. You'd hate that group. You'd hate those people because they're messing with a system which has obviously worked up to this point, because they're still surviving. Even though there's obviously holes in what they're doing, i.e. the girl climbing over the wall. So obviously that's not safe, or not safe enough. They need barbed wire or something up there. Or, you know, those boys, I can't remember their names, I think one of them was called Aiden. Him and his mate, you know, tying up that walker, which got away, and who knows if that walker could have hurt someone. Glenn and Tara and everyone, they know that you don't do that with walkers. You just kill them. You deal with the problem. You don't fuck about, because if you fuck about, it will come back to bite you in the ass. Like I've said time and time again. They know these lessons. They've lived in this world. Whereas this Aiden lad, he's just been protected behind these walls, going out into the world, of course. But he's only tasted it. He's sampled it. Whereas Rick and his group have lived it. Glenn has lived it. And they know that there are certain situations where you have to deal with these walkers. You can't just mess about with them. And like I say, there are weaknesses in how they run things. But if Rick was to talk to the lady in charge, I think her name's Deanna. If he was to talk to Deanna, then maybe he could, because he's now I think she called him the constable of the town, he could help implement better changes to make the place more safe. But if he decides that he needs to do this as a hostile takeover, then they are becoming the aggressors. They are becoming the bad people, even though we know they're not. We know they're good people. It's just that they've had an incredibly tough time with the termites, with the governor. They've learnt their lessons time and time again. But like Glenn said in this episode, and like Michonne said in the previous episode, maybe they've been out there too long. Maybe they can no longer live with these type of people, because compared to Rick and his group, they are weak. But maybe some of that weakness is what society was before, and they just can't fit into that. I should talk about the people of Alexandria as well, because I'm sort of painting them as these holier than thou people, that they're good people and they've, you know, survived. Maybe even though they have got weaknesses, they've survived because they've got lucky, but I still don't think that's the case. I think there may be some darker reason behind it which they're not sharing. One of the things that make me say that, like I say, is the weakness in their defense, with somebody climbing over the wall and that girl that obviously doesn't want to be there. Maybe it's just because she feels more at home in the wilderness because that's where she's lived for so long. But, you know, like I say, there's weaknesses, and if they survive to this point, there has to be an element of luck involved or some reason for that survival. Another thing which I'm not too sure about with these people of Alexandria, which is bothering me a little bit, was that whole flashback to when Rick was talking to the camcorder when he first came into the town. He said how it's all about survival. People prey on your weaknesses to get one over on you, in probably not in those exact words, but you know, along those lines. And while it was replaying that bit, he came downstairs in his police uniform, and we know that is something that is close to Rick's heart. That's the life he lived before when he was last happy, and maybe because they know that, they're using that against him to lull him into a false sense of security for some reason. I don't know what reason, what they would have to gain from it, but again, this is me being like Rick. This is me being suspicious of these people, because up to this point, we've had nothing but bad from these sorts of places. So I don't blame Rick for being cautious. I'm a little bit worried that he's already moving people into their separate houses. You know, it hasn't been long. He's fallen into this job, whether he's doing it just to play along like I think Carol is, because we saw Carol blatantly lie to the camera, or what I think is a blatant lie to the camera, saying how she loved Ed and she missed him, because I really don't think she did. I thought she was caught in an abusive relationship, and I think there was one point in this whole series where she actually said that, but she's obviously playing up to appearances. She's pretending to be someone soft, someone weak, to mould into this community. So if something did happen, they'd be shocked with how strong she is, and how she could deal with stuff, you know, in a split moment. No concern, no worry, no over analysing or thinking. She would just deal with the situation. So I think she's playing her cards close to her chest. Whereas, you know, maybe Rick's doing the same thing, or maybe he has fallen into that trap. I'm not 100% sure yet. But one thing that sways me over to he's playing along is the fact that he said at the end there, like I began this review with, that line, maybe we can take this place over. Whether they do or not, I don't know. Would I agree with them taking it over? That's another question. I've got to learn more about the town of Alexandria. I need to know if these are just good people that have got lucky. If they are good people that have got lucky, Rick needs to help them improve, but not in a hostile way. If they turn out to be people that have survived because of bad stuff they've done, then still, depending on the circumstances, it's case by case, depending on the circumstances, my mind would change whether Rick should do a hostile takeover of the place. But I don't know. It's so hard. It is so hard. With what they've been through what we've witnessed with them, we know it's so hard to trust other human beings. And I've got to say as well, in this episode, we saw when Rick and Kyle deliberately, or Rick at least, deliberately didn't shoot walkers in order to lure him somewhere else so he could practice his up-close skill with killing them. And Kyle even came across, and Rick was like, yeah, join in with me, let's do this. Because he knows it's important that they don't get weak. That's what they're all afraid of getting weak and getting complacent. And I agree with them. They shouldn't do that. They should go out, they should practice, they should stay hard. Even though I still think some forming into the society that is there, Alexandria, should it be, not a big con, but if it is some sort of society, I still think they should try and fit into that. But at the same time, keep hold of those skills, keep that part of you which helps you survive. Because like I keep saying, every place like this falls. Every place has some sort of calamity which brings it to a stop or to an end. Because if this place didn't inevitably fall, then I'm guessing the Walking Dead series would have ended a season or so ago. But it hasn't, so something must have gone down. That's just me looking into the future. Maybe they are still in Alexandria and Rick is running it now, running his own community. Who knows? But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I just hope that Rick he's not falling into the trap, but at the same time, he isn't keeping himself too distant. There's a balance there to fitting in, yet keeping yourself strong. And I hope he's able to find that balance. It's not going to be easy. It's easy for me to say, but it won't be easy. But I hope they're okay going forward. Before I go, I'm just going to quickly mention two other things which concern me about Alexandria. And that is the husband of the woman that cut Cole's hair. I can't remember her name. The husband of her obviously came across as quite jealous in that one sentence he had. I'm the husband of the wife that cut your hair. Sort of like just telling Rick, I'm a husband, so back off. That's how I took it anyway. And also the son of Deanna. Like I say, I think his name's Aiden. He seems a bit complacent. He's a self-admitted douchebag. And, he's obviously not lived a life out in the wilderness. He's been protected behind those walls. And he could make mistakes that get people killed. And we even saw this episode, he said 4 of his people got killed before. Which obviously, if they died and they were under his leadership, it's his fault. He's in charge of them. He should have been more, direct in the way he dealt with stuff. I actually hope eventually that this Deanna puts maybe Glenn or Tara or someone, or even Noah, anyone other than this Aiden person in charge of Beyond the Wall. Because like I say, they've got more experience. They know what to do. They know there's no messing about. They know there's no time walkers to trees. They know you just get the job done. You don't fuck about. And this Aiden character is obviously a bit of a douche. So, hopefully that works out as well. I mean, the governor, she's not really a governor, is she? She was a senator. But this senator lady, she gives me good vibes so far. The fact she thanked Glenn for punching her son because he was an idiot. And the fact that she's given Rick a position of power, being the constable, and Michonne, of course. Michonne was also placed as a constable, which I think is really cool because we know those two work well together. Again, I said it before, whether that's because she's placing them there to give him a false sense of security, or whether she's doing it because she knows Rick's just got the best experience at it. He's survived this long and he's been in charge. He knows how to survive. So, I don't know. It's all up in the air with me. I still need to learn more about Alexandria. I still need to learn more about the characters in this town. And I still need to learn more about if Rick and their group are going to be able to adapt to this new place. Because at the moment, it's about 50-50. They seem to, and then some of them don't seem to. I mean, of course, struggling the most is Daryl. He's not showered, which, Carol called him out on. And he's still eating roadkill. He's not bothering eating the food that they're obviously supplying. He's just wanting to eat what he can catch himself, or he was in that one circumstance anyway. But I don't know. Like I say, gonna have to wait and find out. Gonna have to wait to find out more about this town. So until next episode, guys, thank you for watching as always. I really appreciate it. And until then, bye bye. Thank you for watching The Walking Dead Weekend with me. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up because it helps me and it helps the channel grow. Also, if you've got any thoughts or theories about the episode, remember you can leave them in the comments section below. But please, no spoilers. If you'd like to support me even more than you do now, you can find me on Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month you can take part in Patreon polls or even get early access to my videos. And finally, if you want to keep up to date with the channel, you can find me on Twitter at TVandMeReacts, or you can subscribe.